Wow, a lot of news has just dropped. A new way to collect Spark, changes to collection bonuses, plus your opportunity to win a super cool Detroit Traders Block Explorer, and speculation for a potential Queen's node for the Upland analysis community. There is a lot to talk about, but before I get into that, I just want to give a quick shout out to my executive level channel members, Bad Frog, Mitrigno, and Monopoly Mike. Thank you so much as always. I'm going to start with the Block Explorer bit because somebody who in game is called Cartwright has reached out to me and he's got this Block Explorer. It's the Detroit Traders event. You know, there was a thrifty trader event in Detroit back when the city came out. This is a 1 of 200 mint, and he reached out to me saying, hey, I want to raise some funds for the Century City node, and he's basically raffling off this Explorer. So here's how it works. Each ticket to win this Explorer, potentially, is going to cost 10,000 UPIX per ticket, to a maximum of 100 tickets that will be sold across the whole thing. So if you enter, you've got an at minimum 1% chance of winning this for 10,000 UPIX, which I think is a pretty fair, you know, risk-reward ratio, which is why I was happy to promote this on the channel. Because I'm a member of the Century Citizens Club myself, I said I'd help out, and therefore, if you want to participate in this raffle, and you know, pay your 10,000 UPIX per ticket for the chance to win this Explorer, send me, and if you're not aware, my in-game name is Radishhead. That's on the screen right there. Radishhead, no spaces. If you send me your 10,000 UPIX, or if you want to enter multiple times, however much that is, by UPX direct transfer, send me a message on Discord. You can't miss me, just type Radishhead into the Uplands Discord server and you'll find me. Just let me know, hey, I sent you, 10,000, 20,000 UPIX or whatever. Here is my in-game username, and then I will track all of the entries, and I'll have that as a public listing on the Club Radish Discord server. Link to that in the description, so it's all fully transparent. Everybody could see how many entries there are, so you'll know your chances to win. And I will host that drawing myself in a live broadcast, so it's all fully transparent. There's nothing being hidden. That will be on the 30th of April. That's a Saturday. And, if you win and you're not there, don't worry. I'm going to message the winner saying, hey, there you go. Reach out to Cartwright and he will trade you the Block Explorer. So I just wanted to say thank you, Cartwright, for contributing that really cool Detroit Block Explorer for the Century Citizens node. Very cool. And if you want the chance to win this, which has got to be worth a few 100,000 UPIX, I imagine, in today's market. One ticket is just 10,000 UPIX, which I think is a pretty good deal. Let's talk about some news that's literally just dropped, that being the weekly Spark login bonus. I just read through this article before clicking record, and indeed, when I went on to Upland, I should have kept the the pop-up, but it did in fact say, hey, log in 7 days in a row and you will be provided with some Spark. It didn't say how much Spark, but from reading this article, it looks like that's because the amount of Spark is going to vary based on the Spark markets or the number of players or something. It doesn't really make it very clear exactly what influences that, but it'll be a minimum of 0.01 Spark, which is obviously not a huge amount. It's worth roughly $5. So for players who have very little or no Spark, having $5 worth of Spark given to you for free just for logging into the app every day, that's pretty good. And if you manage to log in consecutively for 70 days, which is just over a couple of months, that would give you enough Spark to actually place down a property. And that starts to add up over time. I think this is a really fantastic way that Upland is rewarding some of their most active players. Like, even if you're not spending like tons of cash, it's almost recognizing those players who might have not as much, but they're more active in the community and they're more active on the game. There's some of these mega whales who are around during the San Francisco days, and they might have pumped like thousands of dollars into the game, and now they haven't touched their accounts. They don't even know Upland exists anymore. They're just holding on to it, and they're hoping that one day they're going to come back and all their properties are going to be worth thousands of dollars. This is more recognizing the little guy who's like, yeah, I want $5 a spark a week. That sounds great. And I think it's fantastic that Upland is going to let everybody who is active in the community participate in that element of the game. I am a huge fan of this. It'll be very interesting to see if that amount of spark changes over time, or if everybody gets the same amount of spark. Not super clear at the moment, but if you play on mobile, make sure that your app is updated, because I had to update mine, and make sure that you don't miss a single day, because if you miss, your streak will just disappear and you'll have to start all over again. So yeah, just be careful. I also just want to highlight that don't click the don't show this again button at the bottom, because if you click that, you're not actually going to get the pop-up saying check in to complete your bonus every day. It just won't appear at all. In other news, collection holding periods have now been introduced, and this is something which Upland have talked about months ago. They're finally introducing it, and for those of you who aren't aware, of course, when you go into the game and you load up the collections menu, you get an instant UPX boost for completing a collection, and that will still be the case for standard collections. So if you're what on earth? I haven't filled out my San Francisco and Sunset collections. Whoops. But anyway, if you're a new player and you're filling out your King of the Streets collection and your newbie collection and your Detroit collection, whatever, you're still going to get those amounts of UPX immediately. However, for limited and above collections, there's now going to be a holding period before you can collect that UPX, and that holding period is detailed here. For limited or purple collections, that's 7 days. For exclusive, it's 21 days. For rare, it's 30 days, and for ultra, it's 30 days. Now, for the average player, that's not going to influence you that much. It's just going to mean it's a little bit slower to get some of those amounts of UPX, which, to be fair, is a pretty small percentage of what those properties are actually worth. For example, a typical exclusive collection bonus might be, I don't know, like 6,000 UPX, whereas the properties required to make up that exclusive collection are probably worth at least 150,000 for the 3. So it's not a massive deal for the average player, but it is a massive deal for players who are engaging in collection swapping, where you've got, say, a rare Manhattan collection that not many people have, and you temporarily lease that collection out to other people. They collect the collection reward and then send you back your Manhattan properties plus half of that collection bonus, sort of as a fee. So some people have made lots and lots of UPX from temporarily lending their collections out to people in order for them to get those collection bonuses, and then getting a cut of that. Upland have been pretty clear that although it's not technically against the terms, it's not really in the spirit of what they're trying to do with the Upland economy, and they've basically introduced this. I mean, the fact that exclusive and rares are 21 and 30 days, which is what was the majority of collection swapping, you've basically removed temporary swapping from the game, outside of some maybe very hyper exclusive clubs where only the most trusted community members could ever join, because lending out your exclusive collection for 3 weeks before getting it back, that's not going to be palatable for most players. So by doing this, and this update has just been snuck out, like it's out now, collection swapping is over. I think it's fair to say you know, I hope you enjoyed it while it lasted. I was never a big collection swapper. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I'm personally very glad to see this here. But I know this is probably going to be a super controversial change, and I'm not going to judge anybody who is upset about this, because I get it. Like, some people did buy collection properties specifically to lend them out in this way. It's a shame for those people. It could be a really good thing for the long-term stability of the Upland economy. That's certainly how Upland has advertised it, but I hope Upland is aware that this will probably have some impact on the market for collection properties. I think that collection properties are still going to be super valuable, but I think it'll reduce the amount of liquidity in the number of people buying those. And of course, it will reduce the amount of UPIX that people have to spend in general, because, you know, less collection boosts are coming into the game. So I hope Upland have run their numbers and they're prepared for the impact that will have, because it's surely going to have some impact. I don't think it's going to be cataclysmic like some of the guys. I think when things like this are announced, people can exaggerate a little bit on the Discord. I don't think it's the end of collection properties or anything like that. Like, I buy collection properties and I don't swap at all. So I think there's still going to be demand for them, but it will have an impact, that's for sure. So we'll keep an eye on that on the channel. And on to the final bit of news, which isn't really news, but it's something which I've been thinking about. And I get a lot of comments on the Discord and on YouTube of people saying, hey, Radish, what's the deal? Are you going to do a community node for Queens? Because I've sort of floated the idea of running a node before. Technically, I'm an affiliate of Century Citizens, but I'm not the founder. I just own some properties there and I'm sort of committed to that node. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to conflict with my holdings over there. But I was thinking, Century City is all the way over in Los Angeles on the west coast. Queens is sort of the last easily available spot on the east coast in New York City. And I think it would be silly not to take up that opportunity and start up a community node somewhere in Queens. I think that sounds really fun. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I'm not going to be officially announcing any node until after the collection reveals are in, because I don't want to start a node in a collection area. That's not really my style. It sort of means you can have loads of conflicting people who are flipping the neighborhood for collection potential rather than holding it for the node and building it up. And one of the things which I love about nodes is that they demonstrate how it's not just Upland who give value to neighborhoods or streets, it's the community that do that. And I think nothing better exemplifies that than a node. I want it to be fairly exclusive, but not like hyper, like, oh my god, I can't get into this at all. I've been looking around and a couple of areas have jumped out to me. As I say, this isn't an official announcement for a node because I need to see where the collections are before I make a decision, but the areas which are really standing out to me are Kew Gardens. If that is not a collection, I'm almost definitely going to try and make that an Upland Analysis community node, or Holliswood. If Kew Gardens is a collection and Holliswood isn't, then I'd love Holliswood to be a node, because I like the fact that there's not a huge amount of properties there, but there's enough that realistically you could get in at a decent price, especially if it turns out to not be a collection. Some of these prices might drop. That's the case in Kew Gardens as well, of course. And I think just when you zoom out, Holliswood like really stands out with its kind of curvy streets. It's a bit unusual compared to a lot of the other neighborhoods. So yeah, I'd love a New York City node. I'd love a Queens node. Those are the two neighborhoods which I'm most considering at the moment. But as I say, please await the official announcement before you go mad buying stuff there. Other than that, I'm just keeping an eye on the Queen's floor price. It seems to be going up and up and up. You know, when I was last talking to you, it was about 4,800. Now it's about 5,500. It seems to be, I saw it at 5,700 briefly. So if you were able to mint some of the stuff on the floor the other day, it seems to be going up and up and up. I don't see that stopping anytime soon. I can't wait to review how my collection predictions went after the collections are revealed very soon. But I hope you found this quick news bulletin helpful. Don't forget, if you want to participate in the drawing for that Detroit Traders Block Explorer, just send me the 10,000 UPIX. I'll log your name down. The drawing will be on a live broadcast on the 30th of April. Best of luck if you decide to participate in that. Other than that, and I'm hoping I'm pointing in the right direction this time, this is a list of all of my channel members. Thank you so much for the ongoing support, and I want to give a special shout out to my executive and director level channel members: Bad Frog, Monopoly Mike, Matrigno, and Tushar Singh. You are all so fantastic. I'll be seeing all of you guys very soon on the next video. See you then.